everyone, welcome to today's video. I will be going through my Hobonichi launch day / launch season orders and purchases. This is my first ever YouTube video. I pretty much watch all of the different Hobonichi haul videos that are posted during this time of year. So I wanted to just take this opportunity to contribute my own video and show everything that I got. So for context, in 2024, I just had this one Hobonichi Weeks and this clear cover that I got from Amazon. I was really kind of trying Hobonichi out to see if I was going to like the paper, like the style of planner, and really just get good use out of it before I went fully off the deep end and ordered everything from Japan directly. I did end up absolutely loving this. I use this every day. It's my go-to. So I kind of went a little bit crazy this year and got many accessories and other books to try. So yeah, let's get to it. So first things first is the 2025 weeks that I'll be using. This is the Cherry Blossom Snowglobe weeks, and I saw this cover and absolutely fell in love. I think it's so whimsical and fun, and the website does warn against using a clear cover with this week's, but I did just put it on since I got it before I saw that warning, just to see how it would look. And I may take it off, I may leave it, we'll see. I live in Wisconsin, so it's not super humid, so I don't really foresee there being an issue. And I did really enjoy having the clear cover this year, so we'll see whether we keep that or not. But this is the weeks. It's an English version where it's just got the weeks on the left and the notes pages on the right. In my weeks, I pretty much use this very heavily for habit tracking in the weekly section, as well as general to-do lists. And I do some very short form journaling in the daily sections. And then in the back, in the notes pages, I do a monthly recap every month, and then I have several different trackers in the back that I utilize. So I have like a health tracker, I track my reading for the year, a mood tracker, and just things like that. So that's what I plan to do for 2025. I plan to use it much in the same way. Very excited to have this in my lineup. The next book that we have is actually my husband's book. This is the Snake Toy A6 Han, and we actually got this at one of our local retailers called Anderson Pens. We originally thought he was going to be using just the regular A6 planner book in English with a cover, but he saw this and fell in love. This is not what I would have predicted him to choose, but we really just couldn't leave it behind. So he deviated from the plan a little bit, but yeah, I just think this is so cute, and honestly, I'm glad that he has it so that I get to look at it as well. All right, and speaking of my husband deviating from the plan, this is the Twinkle shells cover that originally was supposed to be his with the A6 English planner book, but now I kind of took it over a little bit myself. I think this cover is absolutely darling, and I did already start using it just a little bit. I am going to be using one of the free notebooks that Hobonichi sent when you ordered direct from them as my A6 for now until 2025 starts, because I just couldn't wait to jump in and start using the A6 book. So I did already open up this and start using it since my order was delivered late at night yesterday. This cover is a 2024 cover, I think. So I did get this secondhand because I wasn't a huge fan of the Only Is Not Lonely cover, but I loved the concept of having this thinner, just grab and go cover. And in this, I have the 2025 Hobonichi Day Free. My husband and I are actually planning a cross-country move in 2025, so I figured this would be great for packing lists and lists that the realtors give us and just general things about moving, because we'll be selling a house, moving in with our in-laws, and then buying a house all kind of in quick succession. So that's what we're doing in this cover. And then my last and favorite cover of the purchase was this Liberty Fabrics Michelle cover. This is so me, the florals, the muted blues and everything. The second I saw this, I knew I had to have it. It's even more stunning in person than it is online. I love this subtle slate blue on the inside, and I love that the page keepers have these funky little tassels because my week's tassels are very frayed this year. I did go ahead and slide in the original English book that I'll be using for 2025 in here, and I just have this in a clear cover from Midori that I already had on hand from Amazon. And I'm very non-committal when it comes to decorating the covers of my books. So usually I just slide stickers inside the clear cover where they're still movable if I want to change them. So I did go ahead and do that when I was playing around with everything last night. All right, moving on to the accessories. I have two of the Hobonichi papers. The first in the Take a Look pattern by Yumi Kirikishi, and then the second in the Aurora Duty pattern. This Aurora Duty pattern is one of my favorite Hobonichi patterns ever. I just really couldn't get enough of it. So I like to write notes and have actual paper grocery lists and things like that. So I figured these would just be great to have on hand for some quick paper to tear out and take with me. So very excited for these. And I'll put the inside too, because I think these are so cool. So they each have just little illustrations down at the bottom on every page. And I didn't know that at first when I was looking at these, but I think they're so precious. Some really cute illustrations for some quick grab and go paper. All right, the next accessory I have is probably one of my favorite things from the entire order, which is this Aurora Duty small drawer pouch, which I have already started putting a few things in. This is one of those things that as soon as I saw it on the website, I knew I couldn't leave it behind just because it's such a better price on the Japanese site than it is from any other resale in the States. And I didn't realize it was super glittery at first online in the pictures, but I love this in hand. I think it's really cute, and it doesn't shed for anybody that may be curious about that, because I was worried it might be a little fragile, but it's definitely not. Yeah, I just absolutely love this. I think it'll be great. I plan to absolutely slam this full of stuff so that I can grab this and just take it for journaling or planning while we travel. I did get 3 of these packs of double stick tape. I do like to paste in different bits and bobs of ephemera or photos or things from travel and just general life. So I went ahead and got these because they're so much more cost effective on the Hobonichi site. I think these are like $2.99 a piece, which is just great. So I figured these would be good for on the go when I'm not at home with full access to glue sticks or other larger items. The next thing is these book darts. I have seen these in several people's videos and in my weeks because of the way that I utilize the notes pages for trackers. I figure these might be really handy just so that I have a way to navigate back to those pages quickly without flipping back through every single page. So I did go ahead and get the small pack just because I felt like I didn't need a whole lot of them. I'm excited to use these, and I really liked this copper color. They're supposed to not damage your pages, so I'm hopeful for that. I'm not too careful with my pages anyway. Like I'll throw a paper clip or something in there so I'm not too delicate with the pages anyway. All right, the next thing that I got and have already started using, so I had to tape the packaging back together, is this push button stamp with the weather icons. I track the temperature every day in my weeks, so I thought this would be a perfect way to add just the little weather icons to that. I do live in Wisconsin where it snows a lot, so I thought it would be interesting to track the snow, but also just the weather in general. All right, the next set of things that I have are the A6 folders. I originally wanted to take a look, or not take a look, the little gifts pattern of folders that were left from last year, but those sold out before I had a chance to order. But I'm actually really happy with these. I think they're really beautiful, and I think they'll be really useful for putting in sticker sheets or little sheets of washi or icons or things like that. So I'll probably put one of these in each of my A6 books, if I'm honest. I also got the set of 3 A6 memo books. I don't really have a solid plan for these yet, but I figured it would be good to have just because they are so cost effective from the Hobonichi site. I have heard that people will use these as like perpetual notebooks to have information that they always want to keep handy, and they'll just transfer it from book to book to book. But I also know that it can be really handy for just jotting down notes that you don't care to keep for anyway, and then you can just toss the whole notebook when you finish. So not sure how I'll use these yet, but I liked the colors and I think that they're a really cute size. The next book I have is the 2025 Weekly Supplement A6 size. I plan to pair this with the day free book that I'm going to be using for moving. I know when it comes time to selling our house, we'll have a lot of appointment times for showings and things like that that we'll need to keep track of. And my husband and I are also planning to try to conceive next year. So I figured we'll have a lot of doctor's appointments and things to go along with that. So I figured this would just be really handy to keep track of all the different appointments for all the different aspects of our life next year. Just keep it all in one place. All right, the next thing I have are some pencil boards. I actually bought 2 of the Aurora Duty A6 pencil boards, one for myself and one for my husband. Pencil boards are new for me. I did not use one in my 2024 weeks, but I'm excited to give them a try in 2025. And I also just think they're a really cute way to add another pop of a pattern that you like, even if you don't get it in a cover to your lineup. Hence why I got this week's pencil board. The Yumi Kitagishi cover wasn't 100% my style, but I do love her illustrations. So I thought that this pencil board would just be a fun accent and pop of color to my weeks. I did get 4 of the Hobonichi pens, but one of them will be going with the English planner book that we are selling since my husband changed paths a little bit. So I did already start using one of them. And I really do like this color scheme. I know it's a bit polarizing in the community, whether people love it or they hate it. I'm one of the lovers. I'm a yellow girl, so I'm totally fine with this color scheme. And I really do like the way that it writes in the Hobonichi. I've never used one of these before, so yeah, it's been a pleasant experience for the one day I've been using it so far. The next pen that I actually have 2 of, are these Penco Perfection Bullet Ballpoint pens. And I really didn't have any logic or reason for buying these other than I thought that it was the cutest pen I had ever seen. But also it's very tiny. So I think it'll be good for both my husband and I to just have, because we do a lot of travel. So in an effort for us to try and journal while we travel, I think this will be great to have nice and compact. The last pen that I got from Hobonichi was the Platinum Preppy fountain pen. I am new to the fountain pen world, but very curious about them. And these are just so cheap on the Hobonichi site. So I did decide to grab one to kind of like test the water to see if I liked the feel of a fountain pen, and specifically if I liked the feel of a fountain pen in the Hobonichi book itself. So I did write with it a bit today. So far, so good. Yeah, I like it so far. And last but not least is the blind bag item. I did get 2 of these, and they are both the same. I did already open this earlier, but I got 2 of the free notebooks with our purchase. And they are both this butterfly pattern. I do love these notebooks. I like the grid size. I don't mind the small grid because I have pretty small handwriting, but I think this will be a nice size for journaling. And I have already put the other one to good use as my practice A6 before 2025 starts. I really like when free gifts are useful, and as stationery people, there's nothing more useful than a notebook, right? So this was perfect for me, and this was the pattern I was hoping for, so I'm not mad about having 2 of them. Oh, one more accessory that got pushed off to the side is this Weeks band. And this actually is a thanks to my husband item, because he actually did the order for me on the 1st because I could not get through. And he added to this cart added this to the cart all on his own because I had been talking about it, but I just wasn't sure if I wanted to commit to the $17 for it or not. But I kind of love that he added it. We love him for it because it's absolutely perfect. My Weeks is pretty chunky. I add in lots of stickers, and actually mainly I add in lots of pictures from my Canon Ivy for memory keeping. So this will be great just to keep this closed. And it does have 2 pen loops on it, which I really like, because if you had one of these clear covers for the Weeks, this pen loop has started to split. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's had that experience. So it'll be nice to have some additional pen loops that aren't on the clear plastic cover. But yeah, that is the haul for the year. I'm so excited to really start diving into everything and using everything. I pretty much watch every Hobonichi haul video that comes across my feed during this time of year. So I'm glad to be able to finally add to the collection. I did order on September 1st, and I live in Wisconsin. We got our order late last night on Wednesday, September 18th. So it took about 18 days to get here. It did get hung up in customs for about 4 days. So just a heads up for anybody who may be considering ordering. If you get any pins or anything, just know that you may run into that. But honestly, with how much money you save not buying, or with how much money you save ordering from Hobonichi, I do think it's worth the extra wait time and potentially dealing with customs to be able to get more accessories if you're not just buying 1 or 2 things. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.